Good morning, everyone, and we are Group 2. Today, we'll be presenting our study on the environmental risk of the Sungai Kim Kim River. My name is Chong Yingjie with metric number BC251298.
Hi, my name is Chun Yu and my matrix number is BC251205.
Hello everyone, my name is Fiorentina Galius. My metric number is BC252687.
Hi everyone, my name is Siti Fatihah bin Jama Ismail. My metric number is BC2502736.
Hi everyone, my name is Chilana Anisha binti Wahaizi. My metric number is BC250306.
Alright. Then I will begin by introduce Sungai Kim Kim. Sungai Kim Kim is a 50-kilometer river located in Pasir Gudang, Johor, Malaysia. And it runs through an area surrounded by industrial activities. Because of this, the river is highly exposed to risk of pollution, especially from improper industrial waste disposal. Even though it's not a large river, Sungai Kim Kim plays an important role in the local community. It supports daily life, educations, and livelihoods of the residents who rely on the river and the surrounding environments. However, these close connections between the river and human activities also make it vulnerable to environmental degradation and pollution. To understand why Sungai Kim Kim gained national attention, we need to look at the major pollution incident that occurred in 7 March 2019. Illegal chemical waste was dumped into the river, which released toxic fumes into nearby areas. These incidents affect around 6,000 residents and 2,775 people, mainly school students, had to be hospitalized. Due to safety concern, 110 schools in the area were forced to close temporarily. The event highlighted how a single pollution incident can disrupt the entire community, its health, its education system, and its daily activities. This case showed the serious consequences of poor industrial waste management and weak enforcement of environmental regulations. With the background, our studies focus on 4 main objectives. First, we aim to audit the environmental risk of Sungai Kim Kim using virtual tools. This allows us to observe visible changes and understand the factors that threaten the river. Second, we aim to propose strategies to prevent future pollution so that similar incidents do not happen again. Third, our project aligns with SDG 6.6, which focuses on protecting and restoring water-related ecosystem. And finally, we highlight the important role of river in linking the hydrosphere and lithosphere, and why maintaining the health of this connection is essential for sustainable environmental management. Overall, this study emphasized the urgent need for better river protection and stronger community safety. Next, I will pass it to my team member for discussing the next topic.
Okay, so hi everyone. Here is the overall methodology used in this research. Okay, we focus on Sungai Kim Kim and our study involved 3 main methods: understanding the study area, field observation, and secondary data analysis. This method help us to more understand of the pollution issues. Okay, for the study area, the study take place in Sungai Kim Kim, which is located in highly industrial area, suitable for assessing water quality and pollution risk. Okay, this a previous incident involving the release of methyl mercaptan. Several children were affected due to the location is nearby schools. Okay, so Out of 257 factories, 3 are believed to be the main sources of the toxic gas. These factories are within 3 kilometers of the school. Abnormal gases were also detected in the surrounding area, showing that the pollution wasn't the only in the river, but also in the atmosphere. Okay, the second methodology we use is field observation. The observation is located at 3 locations along Sungai Kim Kim. We use the available photos and report and visual record that we found in the internet to observe the aspect of the water color, water turbidity, and industrial change. For the data analysis, we collect information from the government report, environmental agencies, and past studies. The news article about the Sungai Kim Kim incident. Okay, this data help us to understand the history of contamination and industrial activity around the river. When we use the water, we use the water quality index based on the DO, BOD, COD, TSS, and the pH of the river. According to the Malaysian standard, river are classified from class 1 to class 5, which is the worst. Which is the worst one is class 5, and the Sungai Kim Kim River is on the class 4. So that's all from me. I will pass it to our next friend to explain.
Okay, hello. I will now discuss and present the result of the Kim Kim River incident, including industrial impact, land development issues, sediment pollution, and the resulting of health crisis. So as we know, Pasir Gudang is known as an industrial hotspot with many factories. So because of this, the area has a high risk of chemical pollution. The dump waste release toxic gases like benzene, toluene, acrolein, and acrylonitrile. And these chemicals spread through the air and cause breathing problems like nausea and irritation, especially among the students. Since the vapor were heavier than air, so they collected in low area like school ground, making the situation more worse. So next, we move to rapid development in Pasir Gudang Place residential area and school very close to industrial zone. The dumping site was only 5,000 meters from to school, and this close distance increased the danger to children and show poor planning and with environmental protection. So next, river sediment and erosion issue. So before the incident, the river already had heavy mental pollution from years of industrial activity, which is the riverbed act as a storage place for pollutant. With soil protection and poor management allow contaminant to build up over time. And this long-term pollution created a dangerous setting for the sudden chemical dumping. And the first sign of the disaster was a strong and pungent chemical smell. For example, students quickly developed symptoms like itching, breathing difficulty, nausea, and eyes irritation. So, a total of 975 students were affected, and the toxic has spread widely, forcing authority to close 111 schools to protect the community. Oh, sorry, I forgot the Kim Kim River incident part that happened on 2019. So, as we know, on March 2019, 2.43 ton of toxic waste were a major health crisis. So, more than 5,000 people were affected, and mainly school children, and 111 schools had to be closed. This incident clearly shows a failure to protect clean water, which is part of Sustainable Development Goal number 6. I think that's all from me. Next, I will pass to Tan.
Hey everyone. So according to our result, we have noticed that we need to discuss 4 points. The first point is about the hydrosphere. As we know, as actually the Kim Kim River is also a part of the hydrosphere. Since the Kim Kim River acts as a water resource for local economic activities. So when the industrial waste and the poisonous chemicals are released into the river, the first thing is the ecosystem disturbed, especially for aquatic ecosystem. So what thing cause the ecosystem destruction? The first is the eutrophication and the lower dissolved oxygen. Okay, beside that, the heavy metal element in industrial waste like mercury, since they won't break down, so it means that they can remain under the riverbank for a long years, provide a long-term pollution for Kim Kim River, and it will accumulating the organism. Okay, so it also create a health problem for people who live nearby. Since as just now I mentioned, Kim Kim River is an important water resource for water economy activities. So this show that the clean water in the hydrosphere is very important for life and also for a safe environment. So the second point that we need to discuss is about the lithosphere. Just like our results show that actually there was some chemical waste dumped into the Kim Kim River in 2019 contains some material like benzene and alkaline. Actually, those material are the product of the industrial activity that take place on land, which is the part of the lithosphere. So from this result, we need to notice that the land is also very important because the land also will cause the river pollution. So, please allow me to give some example. The soil that contain the polluted water will be absorbed by the crop and also will cause the appearance of contaminated food and also will cause the reducing of the food security. So this shows that the taking care of the lithosphere need to help protect the river from pollution. So according to those 2 points, we had get one conclusion is about the connection of hydrosphere and lithosphere. The Kim Kim River case already showed that the hydrosphere and lithosphere are connected. When either one is damaged, the other will also affect too. So therefore, a good environment management need proper waste control, careful land use, and regular check on industrial activity. So by protecting both spheres, we need to keep our environment safe for people and also for other living things like aquatic ecosystem. So our team will already discuss the solution. So our team conclude that the river sediment remediation is the best solution for Kim Kim River. So in the case of the Kim Kim River, our team told that the bioremediation is the most effective method that can overcome the river pollution. Okay, so actually the bioremediation can be divided into microbial bioremediation and also phytoremediation, which is the plant bioremediation. So some pollutant degrading bacteria like Pseudomonas species and bacterial species can be directly introduced into a drinking river, and the function of those bacteria is to degrade the industrial waste. So for the part of the phytoremediation can also be introduced because it can provide a long-term pollutant stabilization. In the case of the Kim Kim River, the water hygiene and the water lettuce can be selected to remove a wide range of the heavy metal that wrong in the riverbank. And it also effective for reducing chemical oxygen demand, which is COD. And it can maintain the aquatic ecosystem. So our solution will mainly focus on SDG 6.6, which is protecting and restoring water-related ecosystem. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, now I will conclude our virtual audit on the Sungai Kim Kim toxic pollution incident, focusing on its environmental impact, public health effect, and the wider implication for the surrounding community. Our study also aligned with the SDG 6.6, which emphasize protecting and restoring water-related ecosystem. For our problem statement, our study examined the major environmental issue that arose during the incident. Specifically, we look how the toxic pollution affected the public health, ecological stability, and community well-being. Because this was a virtual audit, we rely on secondary data resources such as reports, satellite imagery, and previous studies to identify environmental risks and potential management strategy. For the second one, key findings. Our finding reveals several important points. First, an illegal disposal of 2.43 tons of hazardous chemical waste released dangerous substances such as benzene, acrolein, acroleonieride, and toluene. This chemical caused respiratory complication among 965 school children, and the authorities were forced to close 111 schools to protect students and staff. Second, we found that long-term factors like industrial expansion, rapid urban development, and weak regulatory enforcement had already been contributing to the river continuous deterioration. Third, our analysis highlighted a strong connection between hydrosphere and lithosphere. Pollution in the river water system directly affect the surrounding soil and the overall health of the ecosystem. Implication for our group is, from this finding, it is clear that stronger environmental governance is urgently needed. This is also needed include better hazardous waste management, stricter enforcement of industrial regulation, and improved environmental monitoring system. This incident also showed that protecting river ecosystem is not just about nature; it is also about protecting the health and livelihood of communities that depend on clean water. The limitation we face is our study faced some limitation, like since we rely mainly on secondary data, we could not conduct a real-time water quality test or measure actual contaminants level in the river. This means some results may lack precision, especially regarding seasonal or temporal changes in pollution levels. For the future work, we recommend using field sampling, hydrological assessment, and sediment analysis to obtain more accurate data. We also studying the effectiveness of microbial and phytoremediation methods, especially for Sungai Kim Kim. Lastly, long monitoring programs and community involvement will be crucial for sustainable river restoration. In conclusion, the Sungai Kim Kim incident highlights the importance of a systematic and community-centered approach to river protection. To strengthen the environment oversight, we also improve the remediation effort and fostering shared responsibility are essential to ensure a healthy and resilient river ecosystem for future generations. That's all. Thank you.
Alright, this is our case study about Sungai Kim Kim. That's all from our presentations, and thank you.